It's another Monday. Hope you all had a great Monday. As for me, I've been having a pretty good Monday. Stopped off, paid some bills, and thought it was going to rain. It looked like it was going to rain. It just drizzled for a little bit, but more rain clouds are in the way, or I should say on the way. It's been a rather weird summer, I must say. And just wonder what the winter is going to bring. And I've yet to be able to lay out by the pool this summer. Normally it's because I'm so worn out from work and not have time, but now that I have time, the weather's not cooperating. But with that aside, let's see, Spooky Tales, Part 2 in Louisiana this week. We'll start off with Lake Charles. Old fire station. There is a fire station on the north side of town that a guy's brother worked at. The only night that something would happen was Halloween. Ear-shattering screams and rumbling were heard. The walls would sweat even though there were not any leaks or plumbing works behind the wall. Every Halloween the entire crew would pack up and drive down the road on the fire truck and sleep in the truck. Interesting. And we move on to New Orleans, the French Quarter. French Quarter, this is haunted for a vampire hauntings by some people in the French Quarter at night in this one alley where he killed all his victims. When the cops found them, there was no blood left in their bodies. He came after female victims of all hours of the night. He was long, curly, brown hair with 1800 style clothing, so beware an attempt with caution. Okay. That's an interesting one. And still in New Orleans, we have the Morgue Bar and Lounge. The building which currently houses the Morgue Bar and Lounge, 626 Phillip Street, was built in 1849. It was originally used as the city's first integrated mortuary, particularly during the huge yellow fever epidemic of 1853. 10,000 people perished in New Orleans that year alone. Though paranormal activity has been recorded in the main bar area, the most well-known haunting is of the mortician's daughter. She used to steal jewelry from the dead and still borrows items from unsuspecting ladies who used the woman's restroom. The restroom area was once the place where the bodies were stored. Obviously, the new owner has a sense of humor. The house cocktail is called the embalming fluid, and it's just about the right color too. For more information about this bar, you can go to www.themorguebar.com. And still in New Orleans, the Myrtle Inn Plantation. A slave poisoned her owner's wife and 2 children to make them sick and nurse them back to health. She would not be sent to the fields. She overdosed the poison, and the judge's wife is. The 3 were dead. So she overdosed the poison, and the 3 were dead. She confessed and was hung by a mob, and their spirits are seen in various places. The judge's wife is seen in the staircase, the children in the rooms, and the front lawn seen playing. The slave has been seen around the house, and the owners claim to have the picture of a slave ghost. There's also a strange handprint that appears on a mirror on the main floor. Now, how many no matter how many times the glass is replaced. Interesting. I've heard much about the Myrtles plantation and heard it's pretty eerie. Ghost Hunters had that on, I do believe, this last season. Still in New Orleans, Pirate's Alley. The ghost of the famous pirate Jean Lafitte is sometimes seen around 3 a.m. walking up and down the alley named after him. Funny thing about Mr. Lafitte, I met a girl last year who is a descendant of his, and her family still has a lot of his maps and belongings in their house. It's kind of interesting. Moving on to Robert's Cove, Hookman's Graveyard. This graveyard known to be haunted. There is a hook in a grave. People have also claimed they have seen the Headless Horseman back there. It is a very freaky place that only a big-hearted person would want to go. This is no place to go for fun and games. Take it seriously, because serious things have happened back there. There are many stories that lead to mysteries in Hookman's Graveyard. That's two places I know named Hookman. Indiana, there's a place called Hookman's Point. Interesting. Wonder where they came up with Hookman. Okay, moving on to St. Francisville, Myrtle's Plantation. The ghost of a murderous slave is seen and heard. A mother and her 2 daughters are seen there. Someone has personally seen and heard their daughters. A Confederate soldier walks there. A crying woman. Reenactment of the murder on the stairwell can be heard. The piano plays by itself. Footsteps when not a living soul is around. Voices. Doors open and close by themselves, and people who sleep there, like other guests, have been grabbed by someone and had their legs rubbed in a massaging motion, or have been tucked into bed so tight that they could hardly breathe. Interesting. Well, that's it for Spooky Tales this week. I'm not sure if that Myrtle's Plantation is in New Orleans or if it's in St. Francisville, which may be close to New Orleans. I'm not sure, but check it out. I'm pretty sure if you do a search on the web, you'll find Myrtle's Plantation, and they'll have a listing and a map. Sounds like a very interesting place. Friend on 360, Mad Diane, she has gone there, and it's interesting places to visit in New Orleans, Louisiana, or the surrounding area. That's it for this week in Spooky Tales. I will figure out next week's Spooky Tales, possibly Georgia, some places like that. So have a good night.